We have to drive to the like boat place, like
That's
the
insane.
dock, I guess, or whatever they call it. And then it's like a 15-minute boat ride to the island it's on.
I'm envisioning like a Venice man like this, and
gondola
Gianluca's
guy.
just sitting there in his Venezia uniform.
No, those are a bit overrated. Nobody really pays for
You're not
those.
traveling by gondola?
Yeah, no.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into our AT&T 5G virtual studios. This is The Call Up. I am Jillian Sakovits. That is the Queen, Susanna Collins. And what is that? What is this shirt you're wearing today?
I got this in Charlotte at this amazing store called Glory Road. And it's
you
because it's for the Queen City.
The Queen
and
City.
we were shooting a feature, and the joke was that we think there's a resemblance. Not striking.
For those of you listening, there's a striking resemblance between Susanna Collins' nice little Charlotte FCT and herself today. So I love that for you. I really do.
Thank you.
Very respectful of Charlotte to pay homage to you so early on.
Yes,
in
exactly.
The year, as they should. So Charlotte off to a good start, but so is the call up this season. We've already had Kasper Schmeichel and Miles Robinson. We've been loving interacting with all of you on social media, so keep it coming. But fam, when you can spare a minute, give us a little bit of love, like and subscribe. And if you have another 30 seconds, leave a nice little review.
They're nice little pick-me-ups for us, too. We read them, and we're like, oh.
They're good for our egos. As part of Black History Month and our Soccer for All speaker series, we are working with MLS Works to celebrate individuals who are making an impact on soccer. And today we have the 19-year-old Gianluca Busio, the kid from North Carolina. He came up through the Sporting Kansas City Academy. It's where he played for a few years in Major League Soccer. He has himself some caps with the U.S. men's national team. And then over the summer, casually set a Sporting Kansas City club record transfer fee when he moved to Italy's Serie A side, Venezia. Oh, and it's been so fun. Just one of a few Americans over in Italy killing it. And Suze, young Busio's a kid you know.
He is. I feel like a proud like auntie over here or something. So
Proud auntie.
It's crazy. It's such a crazy coincidence. So Gianluca grew up with my little cousin Ronan, and they are best friends. So I have family in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is where Gianluca is from and where he grew up. And I've told this story a million times before, so if people have already heard it, forgive me. But I was down in North Carolina. This was must have been like 10 years ago. And Gianluca was just a little guy playing on the same soccer team as my cousin. And I watched them play. And he, when it's just like, oh, this kid is like crazy good. I think he scored like 7 goals that game or something ridiculous, and like literally running circles around the other kids on the field. You kind of feel bad for them. You're like, oh, kid, like this guy's the real deal. That was Gianluca. And it's just been such an incredible journey to watch him sort of grow, and now playing in SerieA and getting caps for the U.S. men's national team. Like it's like the whole family is so proud of him, and he comes from a great family as well. It's just such a cool story. It's such a cool story, and I'm so excited that we get to chat with him today because he's an awesome kid. Time now for our AT&T 5G call to the field. We are so excited to bring on a guy who entered MLS at age 15 for Sporting Kansas City. He now features for Venezia and Serie A, as well as the U.S. men's national team. Midfielder Gianluca Busio. Gianluca, thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So good to see you.
It's been a while.
Look at you. I mean, you are in your Venice apartment, just living the dream right now. How is life in Italy treating you?
No, it's been great. I've enjoyed every bit of it so far. It's a totally different experience, something that I haven't been used to at all. But now like it's everyday life, so it feels kind of normal, and it's nice. I enjoy it a lot.
You've been there for like a little over 6 months. So how's your Italian? And you say getting used to, like, what were some of the things you had to get used to, going from North Carolina to Kansas City to Venice, Italy?
Yeah, obviously the Italian's a bit difficult. I think I'm still a little rusty there, but it's growing slowly. I just need to be more confident with it. And I don't know. Everything's a little different here. Just the culture, and obviously everybody says jokes about how Italians only eat pasta and
Is it
stuff
true?
like that. And it's pretty true. Yeah, I think I've had. I thought it was I was part of the stereotype that all they eat pasta too. I thought it was more of a joke, but being here now, it's pretty much every meal you start with some pasta. So I've had to get used to adjusting my
Sounds
diet
really
to that.
lovely.
But
Yeah.
it's actually very good though.
I think I could handle that. Are you a coffee drinker, Gianluca?
Yes, now I am.
I was gonna say now you are.
You have
Yeah,
no choice.
now I am.
Uh-huh.
I kind of grew into it now.
What's your
But-
order when you go to a little cafe? What do you get?
Usually it's either just an espresso. I mean, that's kind of like the basic small little cup,
So classy.
or I go like a latte macchiato
Oh,
Listen to that
when I'm
pronunciation.
feeling a little
A little more
Something.
Italian.
I like
Well,
it.
you mentioned, you're Italian, but you kind of are Italian. Growing up in
Mhm.
North Carolina, like we mentioned, your dad is Italian. Can you kind of tell us about that?
Yeah. So like, obviously my dad grew up in Brescia. It's actually only 2 hours from here, so it's nice I can be around my family here. And obviously I grew up with an Italian dad, and he didn't really speak too much Italian to us. I think he's been in America for so long, and obviously my mom's American, so I think we kind of changed him to an American more than he changed us to an Italian. And now that I look back at it, I'm kind of mad at him for that because it really helped a lot. But
I know.
yeah, so-
That's always it. So can I just ask you, when he found out you were going to play hours from where he grew up, I mean, that must have been really emotional for him.
Yeah. I think now it's hitting him more. From the start, he was kind of a little skeptical about it. Actually, he was the one. I mean, my mom was obviously like, "Oh, go, great, do whatever." She supports me. And then, my dad's more the harder one on me, and he was a little more skeptical about it because he did grow up in Italy where he watched all the soccer there, and he knows how how tough they can be, and how tough the situation is. And obviously Venezia was predicted to get relegated and stuff and be in a relegation battle. And he kind of thought about that, and he didn't want his son to be a part of that, and he was kind of nervous about that. But now that I've been here a while, and I've been playing well and playing a lot, he's really happy that he let it happen.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's such a like full circle story. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And
It is.
Venezia is such a fun young team. You're playing with Nani now too, like casual. Like they've just like
Yeah.
got
Hey.
I know you've got like Tanner Tessman on the team, your fellow American, and I feel like they've done a lot of things right? Like the kit is so cool,
Oh,
like the
yeah.
brand is so cool.
That kit from
Venice is cool.
That
It's
2021,
amazing.
2022 kit is probably like one of the coolest in
it's
the world.
iconic.
Oh,
honestly.
yeah.
It's so sick. And you had such a special moment. October 1st, 2021, you scored your first SerieA goal, Gianluca. What was that feeling like? Like, did you know it was going in when it came off your foot?
Not really. I think I kind of just hit it, and I made decent contact. But when I was watching it, I saw it hit his hand, so I was kind of looking for a handball more than anything, because if it didn't go in, I was kind of gonna get ready to yell at the ref to give a handball, and I think it did hit his hand. But in the end, I'm happy that it counted as my goal, and it got that deflection. But it was weird. I didn't really. The emotion didn't really hit me until a couple seconds after it went in, and I was kind of like, oh wow, it was a pretty big moment.
I just
for
did
me.
this. I just did this.
Exactly. So no, it was special, and looking back at it after the moment, it kind of hit me more, and especially now that that was a big point for us. Looking back at it, playing against Cagliari, we're fighting with them in a battle for relegation right now.
Yeah.
So it could be a big point in the end.
Huge point.
You mentioned a big moment with Venice, but for you, Gianluca Busio, what was kind of like the stardom like in Kansas City at going to Venice? Like, can you walk down the street? Like, what has that part of it been like?
No, there's a lot of fans in Venice. I think it's more of a smaller area, And, obviously in Venice, there's a lot of tourists. So, if I go into the city of Venice, I think I can, walk around and not a lot of people will notice me. But, it's when you walk around the small shops, the Venice owned shops, and then, there's people that have lived there for a while. They're the ones who are asking for pictures and things. And that's pretty cool because, the local, ice cream shop and they're selling gelato, they'll always yell at me and talk to me and stuff. But then, I live in Mestre, so it's 10 minutes from Venice, and around here is more where the locals live. So around here I'll get noticed a lot more. We have our training facility here and our office and everything. So around here it's definitely more of a Venice fan base, I would say.
It's so cool. Now you talk about like walking around the shops and stuff. Like I know, so Ronan, your best friend, my cousin, told me that you love your sneakers. You're very particular about your shoes. Like, do you feel like your sort of style game has kind of been elevated since you've been in Italy? Do you feel like you gotta like make a little bit more of an effort? You're already a stylish guy.
Yeah, no, I think it's kind of more of I don't know. It's always been there for me. It's kind of just natural for me to try to look good. So it fits me well. I would definitely say I've done a lot more shopping here. I think the stores here obviously have more high-end stores, I guess, in Venice exactly. So I've made some good connections with people in some nice stores. So that's always helped me a lot to my fashion sense. But yeah, obviously, I mean, all the Italians on the team, they're very big on fashion, and they're coming to training in nice jeans and a full outfit, and I'm used to coming in just sweatpants and streetwear. So
yeah,
I've definitely stepped up a little bit going to training now, seeing them. So yeah, but that's about it. I think it's normal for me.
For MLS fans, I think that Serie A now being a little bit more prevalent. Suze knows with CBS and Paramount Plus here in the US, when you watch it, you get some kind of MLS vibes with just the storylines and the league itself. It's kind of like a fun league to watch. What has been some of the parallels or differences you've seen from MLS to Serie A?
Yeah, obviously it's there's a lot that's different in a way, and it's also very similar. I think the main difference obviously is there's the relegation and everything. So it's kind of more of I would say more of a battle in a sense. And for me, it's being on a team where it's near the bottom. It's every game it's kind of like the game of your life. It's like a final. That's what always our coach always says is you're going into a game where it's another team near you, and you're thinking if we don't win this, we're going down. And your whole life changes. So I think it's like every game has just a little more of that energy, and that you want to win. But yeah, I think the league is just as fun as the MLS, to be honest. I think because obviously there's been people saying the Serie A is it's a defensive, tactical. There's not a lot of goals, all that kind of stuff. But, when I come here, every game has pretty much been, like 3-4, 4-3. The big teams are fighting for, thrillers and stuff like that. And it's, kind of like the MLS. I was playing in games where it's, versus anybody, really. You can be playing a team who's not doing well this year and, still be a 4-3 game. And, it'll be comebacks and, crazy goals. And so in that sense, just the fun and the atmosphere of it it's still all close matches and just fun to be in.
It's been amazing. And the title race right now, like it's just like it's nuts. There's like just all this constant shuffling. So it is if you guys aren't watching it, like it's a fun league to follow right now, and you should be watching it.
I think MLS fans would have a lot of appreciation for Serie A for those that don't watch.
So Lorenzo Insigne is coming to Toronto in the summer, which feels massive. I mean, you've played against this guy, Gianluca. Like, is this how well do you think a guy like this is going to do? Yeah, give us a scouting report on Insigne, because for me, this feels like monumental.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think it's a huge boom because it's not like the guy's, he's hitting his, older age and, falling out. He's still in his prime. He just won the Euros and, he's still killing the Serie A. So it's not like he's coming in rusty. He's coming in, at his, maybe close to his best form. So, yeah, and playing against him is unreal. He's obviously a very small guy, but the way he plays, he's like everywhere. He's just, offensively, he's just always in like the right spots. I don't think he has a position really. He's just, start on the left wing, and then he'll just walk into a gap and turn and create something. So it's crazy to watch him really. He's just so quick and small, and it's great to watch. And
I know.
you never know where he is, and obviously every time he gets it, he's looking to create. Every time he's passing it over the top, and I don't think he's the fastest guy or anything, but he's quick, and every time he gets it, he's doing something with it.
Yep.
Well, get ready for that, MLS fans and City coming to TFC during this summer transfer window. Let's talk a little bit about where it all began, Sporting Kansas City, and our good friends over there. We're going to go over some of Sporting Kansas City with you, but I guess the biggest thing would be like you went there as such a kid going to the academy in 2016, and Peter Vermes runs that place. We love talking to him about how he's got a key to every building. He's got his hand on everything. We tried to find out about the pranks, and he said nothing happens in this building that I don't know about. What type of influence did Peter Vermes kind of have on you? What was the biggest thing you took away from who was the longest tenured coach in MLS?
Yeah, obviously he was huge for my development. I mean, I came in there as a 15-year-old, and obviously you hear stories about your coaches, and as a 15-year-old, you hear stories about Peter being very strict and yelling on the sidelines and yelling at players. So you don't know what to think. And then as I grew up with him, really he was my coach for the longest, and growing up with him, it just showed that he taught me more and more, not only about the game, but we were having meetings about off the field things, and how to be smart. If I obviously I'm still a teenager, so obviously I did some stupid things that teenagers would do in their homes and stuff, and he does find out everything. I figured out. So not just in the soccer facility, it's everywhere.
He's got eyes and ears all over Kansas City.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's
so
terrifying.
He was teaching me about everything. He was teaching me about life, and in the end, I was learning about the game more, but also just how to be mature. Obviously he always says that I was mature for my age, but I think that was because of him. He was a huge part of that. He was treating me as a professional, as a 25-year-old who's been here before, and I think I just learned so much from that and how to mature quick. But he also was never pushing or forcing me to grow up or anything. He was, and I still had the teenage part in me, and he understood that, and also he knew that he believed in me, and that pushed me to be a better player also.
Yeah, he's a special guy. We love PV. We know that he's super intense, but he cares so much, and he loves his players. And it's funny though, because Jill hit on this. It's like he knows everything. He knows that there's the pranks going on and all this, but I don't know if he knew about this one. I'm sure he found out, because this was hilarious. We had your boys Daniel Shallowy and Johnny Russell on the pod last year, and they told us about your send off. I guess when you were getting ready to
which we were very mad at them about, by the way.
Johnny Russell got on top of your car and crushed the windshield,
which was an accident. That part, I think.
Yeah.
He said he did feel very badly, but he said he felt terrible. But what was your initial reaction when you found out that Johnny Russell had basically trashed your car as a send off? Gianluca, we love you. Good luck in Venice. Your car is screwed.
I think I was on too much of a high to be mad about anything. I was. Because first of all, me and Johnny have always, gone back and forth with pranks, and I think for 3 years now, we've always, if somebody comes in later, and obviously I was coming in later, they already had training, and I just sent him a video messing with his car, maybe giving it a kick or something, and that went on for 3 years of just, videos of us back and forth. So I thought it'd be right. I showed up when they were at lunch. I thought it'd be right to go out and, give his car a little kick and then come back inside. But, I said my goodbyes to everybody. They were going to, I think, play Seattle maybe away. And also I just got back from the Gold Cup. So I was, it was literally the day after I got back from winning the Gold Cup. So I was just, I was feeling it. I had a couple of days off. I finished packing. I was coming in to say bye. Got a new transfer. Gold Cup medal, everything. So I was extremely happy. And then, I sent the video, and then I said goodbye to him actually. And, he goes out and, he took the video. And then, Daniel comes back and he's like, "Oh, bro, your car." I was like, "Oh, it's Johnny. He probably did nothing." And then, I walked out and I said, "Oh, that's more than a little something." But I don't think I was that mad about it at all, just because I was leaving the car there.
Yeah, you're like, I don't need the car.
Yeah, I mean,
going to Venice, I just need a boat. Yeah.
Exactly. I was leaving the car there anyway, so it was more of my mom's problem than anything.
Oh,
mama's problem.
I mean, I literally I think I went to the facility to sign the lease over to her to give it back to her. So I was like,
"Yes, Mom.
It's her car now."
For those of you that are listening, and we'll show the video, but it was I think Johnny was trying to take a video of him just walking up your car to give you your final farewell, and his foot went through the windshield. And I think, we're all very happy that Johnny also didn't sustain any injuries from that. So you never got him back. You were like, well, good riddance. I'm going to Venice. All good. Who do you stay in touch with the most from back home?
Probably those two for sure. I think Daniel, Johnny, and Jalen. Now he's at Charlotte. I think we still have our group chat going on from 3 years past. But then all the homegrowns really. I think Cam Duke, Jake, Davis, all of them. I'll always call when they're at training. I always call one of them while they're in the training room and getting treatment, and they're all in there and we still joke around and stuff. So I think I mean pretty much all the players that I played with are still friends with, but Daniel and Johnny probably the most.
The SKC fam.
Yeah, forever.
I love it. One of the coolest moments, you mentioned the Gold Cup, right? One of the coolest things I've ever seen, Gianluca, was watching you get your first cap at Children's Mercy Park, and the crowd started chanting, "Busio, Busio." I literally was like standing up, just like it was incredible. Your mom was there. My cousin was there. Like everyone was like just cheering for you. And what an incredible moment for that to happen at Children's Mercy Park. Can you describe what that felt like for you in terms of how big that was for your career?
No, that was huge. It's hard to put it into words. Obviously I didn't start that game, so when I was on the bench and I was sitting on the bench, and the fans behind us were giving a lot of stick to Greg to put me in, and started standing behind the bench and stuff, and I was it was my first game, so I was kind of like, oh guys, like relax. I don't want to get yelled at or anything, but and then it became it was pretty cool. And obviously when I got subbed in, it was crazy. Obviously they started chanting my name and stuff, and I got that a couple times playing for SKC. So for me to do it in my first national team game, it was special. And obviously to just making the debut's one thing, and then doing it at place where you grew up really. And and also, I kind of knew I was leaving to Venice after the Gold Cup, so I was kind of in the back of my head that it was kind of like a farewell game for me, obviously, if it wasn't with Kansas City. So in my head, it was more of a special moment than anything, than just the debut or anything. It was also one of my last times on that field. So it was just a special moment for me, and my mom was there, so it was cool to celebrate with her after.
What about Gianluca Busio looking ahead for yourself, for your own career, for your club career, for your country career? When you look ahead to the next World Cup qualifying window, the final one, the World Cup, your role with Venice, what are some of the things that you have your eyes on?
First, obviously, here it's staying up. I think that's been the goal from the start of the season, and obviously there's 14 games left, so it's getting closer and closer. But right now it's my goal. They brought me in to help the team stay up, and that's what I'm trying to do. So that's the close goal is staying up. But then with national team, it's qualifying for the World Cup. It doesn't matter how you do it. If you qualify, that's the main goal. And obviously I want to play a part in that, because it makes it easier to make the World Cup roster. If you're helping the team now and qualifying, you kind of have a little head start to make the World Cup roster, and that's my goal, and that's kind of the goal for the future right now, and the close kind of goal is to make the World Cup. And I know that if I help Venice stay up and I play well in these games, then obviously there's one last qualifying. If I play well in that, then I'm kind of building my everything up, my resume up to make that World Cup. And, that's always been the goal of mine since, every World Cup play. I'm like, one day I want to play in that every 4 years. So this next one, hopefully I'll be in there.
You're in like this is quite a pressure cooker of a situation you're in, Gianluca. Fighting for your club team to not get relegated, fighting for your national team to qualify for the World Cup. How are you? You seem so chill and like, I got this. Like, how are you dealing with all of this and kind of compartmentalizing all of the pressure at such a young age? It's really incredible.
Yeah, I don't really know. I feel like I've been asked that question a lot of times, and I don't know how to answer it. I think I've always just been kind of laid back about it. I try, obviously, in my head it's a little more crazy and everything, but I feel like I've worked for everything I've gotten, and I put goals out. When I was 15, my goal was to sign professional. Then I did, and I thought, next step was to make it to Europe. I did that. I wanted to play for national team. I made that. So, in the end, I feel, with the work that I put in, I feel like at some point something's going to come out of it. So I kind of just keep that in the back of my head that, no matter what, if we're going through tough times, if I'm not playing well, it's in the back of my head that, it'll all come back and it'll all work out eventually. So that's why I don't like to get my head caught up in all those things.
Smart.
It's easy to, but I try to stay away just and keep a cool head. And then and even when it's a great moment happening for me or a great time for me, I try not to get too carried away with that also, because it can be the same as being down on yourself. So I try to stay cool and just enjoy all the moments now.
For those of you that are watching and for those of you that are listening, there are 3 jerseys hanging on the loft section of your nice little Venice apartment. What are they?
The first one I think is the Gold Cup final one, the Busio one. And then the middle one is Mahomes' signed jersey that he gave to me.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, Chiefs quarterback, if anybody doesn't know. He was had a game, I think. It was around Gold Cup. He came to a game, actually. We took a picture before, and I gave him my jersey. Then the next week I was back in KC before I left. I was talking to our PR guy, kind of, and he was telling me that Mahomes is coming into the facility to do some workouts, and he obviously wanted a national team jersey and a KC jersey from me, so I gave him that one. And I guess Mahomes asked the PR guy if I wanted anything, and I had a Mahomes jersey there, and he signed it and wrote a little message on it for me.
What a guy!
No, that was a really cool moment for me, because he's obviously the king of KC pretty much, so it was a very special moment.
Also an owner now.
Yeah. Also the owner. Yeah.
Just casual, as
then
you do.
The last one is just I think that's from the Houston game where I scored the free kick. It was kind of my last really memorable moment with them, and obviously I had the number 10 and everything, and it was actually the jerseys with the recycled jerseys, I think, that they do.
The parlay jerseys.
Yeah, the parlay jerseys. And we got to keep those, so I was like, well, I think this is one of the biggest moments in my sporting career.
That's a very iconic wall.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
So cool. I love that you got them framed too. Not a lot of guys
smart.
take the time to actually get them framed and put them up on display. So well done.
Yeah,
well done.
I had to.
Well done, you. February, Gianluca, is Black History Month, and we saw the Black players in MLS come together to form the Black Players for Change, which you were a part of when you were with Major League Soccer. And we've seen leagues across the world kind of call for change and equality within our sport. Have you seen some of that happening in SerieA with your experience in Italy?
If I'm gonna be honest, not really. I think that it's not really talked about a lot here. I think obviously there's been a lot of moments of racism, obviously, in the sport in the Serie A, and that's kind of what they, got hate for a lot, and, deservedly so. So I don't think it's such they don't think about it as much. They don't talk about it as much. And I think that's why, the MLS doing it is kind of the kind of like the starting point of it. Obviously they're not as big as the Serie A, I would say, but, they're just the league doing it. It could, really influence other teams to do it and, or other leagues exactly to do it. And I think just the MLS obviously it's a growing league also. So for them to be also, being growing in the sport, but also trying to, change off the field, that's why can't you do both, So I think that's teaching more and more, and hopefully leagues at some point will start kind of influencing it more than just that. That obviously last year was kind of a big thing around, and then it kind of slowed down, but it's always around. And obviously America, it's a more talked about problem, I would say. And so obviously it's good for the MLS to try to make that change, and I'm glad I could be a part of that. And hopefully down the road I'll still be in the Serie A, and we'll be starting a movement here, then slowly trying to change it around the soccer world and eventually the world, really.
And be a part of
it. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that was really, really transparent and so true, so spot on. All right, Gianluca, before we let you go, I had to do it. I reached out to my cousin.
We knew it was coming.
Bro. And Jill and I were talking about your glow up, which is like truly remarkable. So we just want to kind of like show a little bit of the journey. Of can we
baby Gianluca Busio,
baby Gianluca, look at this. I mean, how adorable. I mean, this was.
And shout out to your cuz too, Sue.
I know. Listen, Ronan's killing it. He's playing basketball.
Oh, this is
Greensboro.
This is chic.
This is you now.
This is very chic.
From that little boy. If you had told that little guy that one day he would be sipping espresso in a cafe in Venice, playing for the team there in Serie A, what would you say?
Tell him keep on dreaming. Back then, that would be that's crazy, You say it. Everybody says it, and I feel like every kid says it, and then now. And to be doing it, it's pretty cool to look back on, knowing that I was probably thinking this right now, that it's a dream. It was really a dream. So now it's pretty cool to look back on that. Actually,
in speaking to you, it's so clear why it all worked out. It really is. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
good luck.
Hopefully next time we see you, maybe it's in Italy, maybe it's on a boat. I don't know. We'll see.
Or in a World Cup. Either way.
Yeah, maybe the World Cup before Susan and I's self-serving trip to Italy. We'll say.
Good luck, Gianluca.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
So many things we are here for this week, but Susanna Collins, the number one takeaway of mine this week is I am so here for players taking announcements and breaking news just into their own hands and giving zero when they do so. A couple really, blew my mind this week. Joseph Martinez, just so casually with a little smirk, just showing Dom Dwyer on trial with Atlanta United. Yeah, that you do a double take, don't you, when you see him in the red and gold?
It's just so okay.
Yeah.
By the way,
teams don't always announce, when guys are trialing with the team, but. The guys, they flew Dom Dwyer into Mexico, and it's just funny. And Joseph gives the smirk.
He knew what he was doing.
Kind of. And I'm so here for it. And I was like, oh, that's funny. But then, who topped it this week? Josie Altidore.
Yeah.
Casual. Nothing had been announced.
What could this mean?
But Josie just happens to post not only the New England Revolution's training facility, but then in huge letters, Foxborough, Massachusetts. And then also Suze changes his location, on Twitter where it shows where you're located in the world, to Massachusetts. All before it was official. It was official that he was leaving Toronto, but not that he was heading to New England. So, it's just the world we live in with social media of guys taking it into their own hands. And I'd love to know what team, this is kind of what I want to know next. What do teams say? Do they say, don't do that? Or Or are they like, thank you? Or are they like, you're Josie and Joseph, I'm not going to say anything to you?
I have a feeling some of the comms staff are like, ugh, like kind of, freaking out a little bit. Like, guys, but here's the thing. I love it because it allows these dudes to control their own narratives. We saw this when Tom Brady, retired, but it was broken by another news outlet, by ESPN.
But
Adam
did he
Schefter.
retire yet? I'm still very confused about that.
But it's that thing where it was like, you want to be the one to deliver the news about your own future and what's happening. So
sure, the future of a veteran striker that isn't you. But sure, okay, yeah, all right.
I like it. I like it.
I'm here for it. It's the world
totally
we live in. It's rapid fire. These poor comm staff, they can't even get a press release out in the amount of time that they're hitting.
They're literally like, guys, please. I mean, I sympathize.
Anyway, I know it's bad for the nice people of the PR offices, but I'm here for it.
I am
so
too.
Thank you, J&J. Thank you. I know.
You guys keep us on our toes and we love it. Okay, so my year for this, Jill. So it was a Super Bowl this weekend, as I'm sure
it was.
And that halftime show was something. I mean, like, I died. It was everything I thought.
Were you not like this for 15 minutes?
I was dancing like I was in the club back in the day. Just like it was obnoxious, but I loved every second of it. So I watched the halftime show. I hop on Twitter, as you do, and I see this tweet from Pablo Mar, who is a fantastic MLS writer, works for The Athletic. He's so great. And he said, I just have to bring up this incredible tweet. He says, I feel like not enough was made of the fact that the New York Red Bulls literally had a defender who was a trance DJ, and that once at halftime of a playoff game where he was serving a red card suspension, he performed a DJ set alongside a woman holding an electric violin. This was a halftime show. This was
in
a
MLS?
halftime show in MLS 2011.
That wasn't that long ago.
In 2011, true story, defender Jan Gunnar Soli played a DJ set and he was serving a red card. And I was like, this is the most MLS thing that has ever happened. Like, that would be an MLS halftime show. A player on a red card doing a trance DJ set with a woman on an electric violin. And then my favorite part was one of the replies to this was Dax McCarty, who was on the Red Bulls at the time. And he said, quite possibly the most MLS moment I've ever been a part of, just full on crazy pills. Pretty sure we ended up losing this game, and it was an important one before the playoffs. To put it mildly, the halftime show didn't go down well in the locker room. So I just thought this whole thing was absolutely hysterical.
MLS. You know what? If and when the day ever comes that Dax McCarty retires, he should be an MLS historian.
I know. Just like story time with Dax. Like, just like tell us all your like hilarious stories. But
sounds
is
like
that not the most MLS-y thing ever? Like this halftime show? Like, because I was like just buzzing from this halftime show.
You know what it reminds me of? To bring it back to this weekend, it reminds me of when that inactive player Hargraves decided to jump out on the field and celebrate with his team when he was in sweatpants, and he got his team a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct. And people were tweeting, I don't know anything about the Bengals roster or anything like that, but people were tweeting like, that's the most Hargraves thing ever, that when he's inactive, he's still getting us flags on the field. And I feel like that kind of goes. Well, who
was the kicker for the Bengals who stayed out on the field to watch the halftime show? He literally did not go into the locker room. He stayed on the field to watch the halftime show. McPherson. True story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I don't blame you. This is a once in a lifetime.
Okay, but I'm just saying, the Bengals are big with MLS moves. That Hargraves move, that McPherson moves. I'm getting some real MLS vibes from the Cincinnati Bengals.
I am too. Oh,
here for that.
Good. Here for it.
On that note, Susanna Collins, I saw a performance on, again, Instagram saving my life this week. That comes from our very own Charlie Davies and MLS legend and Fox's Stu Holden. Of the two of them, now we can't play it because of, like copyright infringement and all that, but the two of them doing their own reenactment of Guilty Conscience with Eminem and Dr. Dre. So I am calling it right now for the 2022 MLS Cup. I want to see in the exact same style. I don't know, maybe like a bunch of buildings like they had at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I want to see Stu Holden come up one side, Charlie Davies come up on the other side, and the two of them meet in the middle for a reunion, just like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg did with their own rendition of Guilty Conscience. So
amazing. What's on tap? Well, it's 11 days until MLS is back, but CCL competition is back tonight. CCL Fever kicks off at 8 p.m. Eastern as the reigning MLS Cup champs. NYCFC take on Santos, followed by Club de Foot Montreal taking on Santos Laguna at 10 p.m. Eastern. So for the full schedule, you can head over to MLSsoccer.com. Also on MLSsoccer.com, you can click on that store link and get your 2022 jerseys. I have over this shoulder. Here we go. The Colorado Rapids sent me this jersey, and it is so cool. You can't see it. It's like got mountains in it. It's so cool. It's like got this.
I'm so into nature. I'm so into when nature meets jerseys.
It's really sharp. Really, really sharp. Well done, Rapids.
Another new jersey that dropped on this Tuesday is the Liberty kit from the New England Revolution. The first time, Suze, that we're seeing that new
the crest. I love it.
On the crest. They dropped that ahead of their own CCL action that they have coming up. And got to give a little love to the LA Galaxy. Hold on, let me show you this. This part I really like. The kind of like the LA Galaxy star is like all along the sleeve. And like you said, you can get the 2022 MLS jerseys at the MLS store. Next week, we've got Danielle Slayton. And in the meantime, you can catch up on Extra Time Radio's latest MLS Works Soccer for All speaker series with the new head coach of the Chicago Fire, Ezra Hendrickson. So get to know him and what is in store for what could possibly be an unforgettable season for the Fire. And hey, what's up, Atlanta United people? If you want to hang out, I will see all of you on Saturday at Atlanta United's big kit reveal in Piedmont Park. So
woohoo!
Stay tuned.
Big things. And P.S. I'm actually excited for the Chicago Fire this year. Just saying. We
believe you. You seem to think that we don't believe you.
Fury.
And last but not least, next week.
Guys, huge. MLS Best Dress Coach Power Rankings. You asked and we delivered. We are the fashion police. We are the official fashion police of MLS. And this is, we break it down for you. We have really we've done our due diligence here. We take this very seriously.
Does this make me look more like a cop?
No, I think you just look intense, which I like.
Yeah.
Which
I
like.
should wear these for
absolutely,
moments,
and they're very stylish as well. So Jill just put on some pretty cool glasses for those of you that are listening.
Blue light glasses, they're super important.
They really are. But yes, Jill and I will both unveil our top 10 choices for the top 10 power rankings for best dressed coach. And as these are power rankings, kids, so remember, room for movement. This is just a starting point for 2022. But we feel we're pretty excited about this. At least I am.
Oh, I'm pumped. See y'all next week.
What's up, everybody? It is Susanna Collins and Jillian Sakovitz, co-hosts of The Call Up. And if you want more Call Up action, hit like and subscribe right here on YouTube, right there.
And also make sure that you download every episode of The Call Up every single Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Time or anywhere that you get your podcasts. And while you're here, why not check out some of these other videos as well?